Hey everyone, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please be sure to follow and leave a 5-star rating. To all the dads watching and listening, thank you so much for tuning in and happy Father's Day to you. Hope you had a great day. All right, guys, let's kick it off with the price of Bitcoin and what's happening in the markets. Many of you know the Iran war situation has escalated once again. It's like Groundhog Day, right? Over and over. But Bitcoin right now is still struggling a bit, sitting at $64,000, and we are seeing some bullish activity, but that could easily get rejected, and we start dumping to lower prices. So this is where we're gonna have to be patient and let the market do its thing, because when you have a macro factor like a war, that can certainly weigh on markets. But on the daily chart, the bulls are still in control. The RSI is still moving away from the oversold zone and has an upward trajectory. Obviously, we're going to have to let this play out and see what happens in the coming weeks. Now, on the weekly chart, many of you know I'm bullish because I see a bullish divergence forming here. And yes, it may take time for this to play out. Yes, a bullish divergence, when it's forming, means the price is still on its way down a bit and then it bounces, right? I know it seems contradictory, but this is the data. This is how it works. So I like what I'm seeing here. And again, patience is the key word here. This could take another month to play out, right? Obviously, I'm hoping it doesn't. I'm hoping Bitcoin maybe retests, let's say 60K, or maybe goes and touch 58K, the low it hit in February, or a little bit below that. And then we find that bottom and we start moving. The stock market not looking too great, showing some weakness here. On the daily chart, the S&P 500 bears are in control, and it looks like it wants to come back down and test some lows here. Now, it could be a shallow move downward, or it could be a deep one. So this is, again, patience. I'm just sharing with you what I'm seeing, and I'm personally in a holding pattern. Don't get me wrong, I've been buying the dips because I believe we're in the bottom zone for crypto. But I also like to look at the stock market because I believe the crypto market makers follow this pattern. That's why you see a lot of the correlation, because the stock market has a broader network effect of investors. And if the overall sentiment and the headlines out there in the mainstream media, they're bearish, they see the price going down, there's macro factors like the Iran war, crypto's not going to just by itself pump, right? That's why we have this correlation. So I believe the market makers in crypto, they do follow what's happening in the stock market as far as sentiment, momentum, and all these things. Here's what Capo of crypto had to say. Potential last retest of 60 to 62K, but this looks like a clear local bottom formation across the entire crypto market. So we shall see. Different analysts have different takes. All right, moving ahead. Michael Saylor is about to become the first man in history to watch his stock go down 99% twice. So a little bit of hyperbole here, because the user posted on X that MSTR went down 99% in the dot-com bubble burst in the year 2000, of course, or 2001, around that time. And right now, the MSTR stock is down 80.61%. So not far off from 99%. So will this come to pass? We shall see. Saylor is playing a dangerous game with the amount of leverage he has in place. Many of you know how I feel about it. I believe Bitcoin can be a great treasury reserve asset like SpaceX did. They took some of their cash reserves, bought some Bitcoin, and that's it. No major risk. They didn't raise obscene amounts of debt. They're not paying out yield and having to sell Bitcoin and do all kinds of crazy stuff that's Ponzi-like. So this is where I'm very concerned about what Saylor's doing. I hope it doesn't blow up, because that could be really bad for the market. But let's see what happens. Hopefully he can make it through here. Guys, this week, the Senate is going to be holding emergency meetings to talk about the Clarity Act. And boy, they better get it done this week, because time is running out, folks. Patrick Witt, the White House crypto advisor, has a target date of July 4th. And look, July 30th is right 9 days from now, right? It is pretty crazy with the timeline we're working with. I don't know if they're going to get it passed by then. Most likely not. But can they do it before the August recess, which puts us more towards the end of July? It's possible. But guys, things are not looking good here. So it's an 11th hour sprint of meetings to finalize the Clarity Act before the Senate window closes. If they miss this window, the next real chance may not come until 2030. That means no federal rules for crypto, no clear path for institutional money, no legal classification for Bitcoin, stablecoins, or tokens. So this is a big week, folks. They got to get some sort of momentum going here, get things moving, because again, even if we didn't miss the July 4th target, that's fine as long as they do it before the August recess, because we're going to have problems. It's a midterm election year, and nothing is going to get done in the fall. And then if the trend continues where we're seeing a lot of Democrats are winning seats, things are really not going to get done next year, or it's going to be really tough. But I'm hoping we can get it done, guys. Obviously, a lot of Democrats do have an issue with the ethics piece. Hopefully they can put that aside and say, okay, we have a larger ethics issue to deal with, because it's not only crypto, it's stocks and other things. And hopefully, we can figure that out, guys. Now, this is an interesting news item and just an example of blockchain adoption. So tech and crypto companies, including Google, Meta, PayPal, and Chainalysis, commit to fighting the illegal wildlife trading using AI detection and blockchain analytics. This is being reported by Reuters. So many of you may recall I interviewed one of the founders of Chainalysis. I believe this was earlier in the year, if not late last year. And obviously you got the big tech companies like Google and Meta, and major payments company PayPal. So I love this, guys. This is really great. And obviously they're using AI, but blockchain tech. And this is where I'm very bullish on this asset class and technology. We need the legislation, and once that's passed, we're going to get a lot more adoption. But the technology is being adopted in many different ways. So crypto, blockchain analytics firms, and payment companies like PayPal, TRM Labs, Chainalysis, and Luno commit to disrupt financial flows linked to illegal wildlife trade. So that's how these crypto-related companies are participating, and obviously the big tech companies. So very cool. I love this. And speaking of AI and crypto, AI is making crypto security cheaper, faster, and harder to ignore. So these technologies benefit each other. And I've often stated that AI helps enhance blockchain attributes, and blockchain can be used to police AI deepfakes and things around that. So the release of Mythos, an AI system designed to autonomously discover vulnerabilities in code, may do more than help blockchain developers find bugs. As AI-powered security tools become cheaper, faster, and more widely available, researchers said they could reshape what the crypto industry considers reasonable due diligence before deploying code, potentially altering expectations for developers and institutions. So this is really great. I mean, you could have AI running 24/7, 365, looking at your code, looking for vulnerabilities. And I think this is very good for blockchain, right? Because blockchains need to be constantly updated, and the systems need to be upgraded, the hardware, and much more as they get more advanced. For example, many of them are preparing for quantum, right? But that takes time. There's a process to it. So I love this, and I think this will help make blockchains, more stronger, more dependable, and which will lead to more adoption. And speaking of adoption, check this news out. Toss Bank is set to use Solana for its global remittance and settlement POC. The South Korean bank's 15 million customers will be able to experience faster, more cost-effective global digital finance with Solana. So we are seeing the global movement towards blockchain and crypto, folks. In the last podcast, I told you guys about Zelle, the payments company used by many different banks, or the payments platform, I should say, used by many banks. They're launching a stable coin, right? And all the major banks are doing this. So it's incredible. I'm blown away by this. And it's so funny that you still have people out there who are like, blockchains are a scam, crypto's a scam, right? They haven't become educated. Are there scams in the market? Of course, just like there is in every other market, in the stock market and much more. But you got to make sure you understand what this technology is, what is it doing, how is it changing the world. And it's funny that many of these people who are saying these things, it's most likely that their bank, who they're banked with, or their investment firm are adopting crypto and they're not even realizing it, right? So it's so funny how that plays out. But this is where financial education is so important. Now, Japan's National Business Corporate Pension Fund to allocate 1% of its assets to cryptocurrencies. Wow. So across the globe, again, we are seeing the move towards crypto. So if you have corporate pension funds, national pension funds allocating to crypto, and they're starting off with 1%, but you know that's going to increase over time, right? Everybody dips their toes in before they plunge in. So this is incredible. A lot of capital coming in, folks. Obviously, here in the United States, President Trump signed an executive order to have 401ks be able to hold crypto. We saw Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders trying to fight that, right? So the on ramps are being built here globally, and that will lead to more capital coming in, higher valuations of these said blockchains and assets. But you got to be patient, guys. You got to have the macro view. Markets move in cycles, so they don't move on your timeline. So you got to understand the cycles. You got to understand what the Fed is doing, what's happening in the macro. You look at liquidity. You got to look at the other markets that lead crypto in a way, like the stock market, right? So you got to look at many different things. But crypto will soon enough be out of the bear market and back in a bull cycle. And as I've been saying, we have all these on ramps being built that never existed before. You throw crypto regulations in place where there's clarity, I think that kicks off the super cycle. Now, doesn't mean things are going to pump overnight to 1,000x, right? Markets are cyclical. This is where you follow my channel and other channels to understand where we're at in the cycle, the sentiment, what's happening on the charts, right? These are things we have to pay attention to. But the important thing is you want to have exposure. You got to be patient and check your emotions at the door, because the markets will rip you apart if you invest via emotions. I mean, just look at what's happening with the Iran war and the volatility we're experiencing as a result. So this is where you got to have that macro view, guys. It's a journey, right? Don't get me wrong. It doesn't happen overnight. I went through that journey, and it was, I only started making money until I learned these things and these principles, right? So important. Anyway, I will continue to update you guys and share all the details with you. But this is the news. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe if you haven't as yet. Check out our sponsor, iTrust Capital, which allows you to invest in crypto and precious metals like gold and silver via an IRA, so you can get tax exemptions. So you can trade within that account, and you don't have to worry about long-term or short-term capital gains. So this is a great option. You sign up at my link, you can get a $100 funding bonus. Check it out and see if it's for you. Be sure to subscribe to my free email newsletter. I'll be putting out a write-up tomorrow. Link will be in the description. It's on Substack. Grab a copy of my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And check out my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto. And right now we get a huge sale. Get 50% off the course price. And use the code BEAR, BEAR at checkout, and you can get 50% off. And this course is packed with tons of value, videos, downloads, write-ups, and it features expert commentary. So no other crypto course offers that. So you got to check it out, guys. Again, go to mycryptocourse.com. Folks, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.